The GCPC staff is all about adapting and improvising. That's been who we are way before the COVID-19 pandemic. When the pandemic started, we came together and started retooling and pivoting. These shifts were swift and monumental. We were all feeling a lot of grief in the midst of it all too. It's inspiring to work with a group of people who feel the magnitude of what's happening in the world and over again resolve to come together in deep trust that God is bringing new life to this church in the midst of these profound challenges.
In the past year and a half, things have shifted a lot, as you can imagine. In addition to online worship and through vMix, through Zoom, we've also had to shift how we do education and formation classes. In addition to that, I'd say that my work with the Deacon Board has evolved and expanded during the pandemic.
Well, the biggest shift I've had is that my actual office space has shifted. My other shift has been my job title, which is now Communications and Engagement Coordinator. You can come to me with newsletter issues, website recommendations, or anything to do with Realm. I'm also available for all things related to the building. Any building use requests you may have or needs to do with the building, you can certainly contact me.
I used to be just a maintenance tech, and now I'm property manager, which involves a whole lot more administrative functions as well as still fixing everything in the building.
Everything about my work has shifted. Not only did I get a call from Reverend Marshall Mount Shoup when I was in Ohio to possibly consider taking a job here, I also recognized how much I really loved being in conversation with young people and their families that were in middle and high school. I have a new title, but my heart for young people from the very youngest babies to young people who are growing into adulthood, into their 18 years of age and under, that I have been able to be a part of them and their lives through my new position as the Director for Formation for Children, Youth, and their families.
Well, there's been a major shift in the way we make music here at Grace Covenant. It used to be that worship was live, congregational singing, choirs, everything was in person, and now we are faced with challenges for that. And so we create, as best we can, music for the congregation to participate with online.
There's been a lot of momentum around the garden here this year, continuing from last year. Also, something new that we've started this year is getting more involvement in the garden with the YTL children.
There's been quite a bit of retooling on the staff. It's been inspiring to witness people stretch into new skills. We've had to say goodbye to some staff members who felt called to move to a new stage of life in the pandemic. Now, each time, all of us had to shift and take on new responsibilities. And also, we took time to look at how our staff is structured. It's really been an opportunity for us. With the support of the Personnel Council and Session, I've created some brand new staff positions to meet this moment. Hiring Luke Johnson and Micah Hayes as our co-directors of technology and media ministries opened up this whole new world for this congregation to connect and to grow. And we've hired Melba Lowry as the new assistant director of youth ministries and expanded Kat Kessler's work as program assistant for children and youth.
I started working with the youth at GCPC right before the pandemic began, so there was a pretty immediate shift within months of me getting to know these youth and these families. We were shifting to online, and all throughout that shift, I think there's been a beautiful marriage of tradition and creativity.
I've had many shifts since the pandemic, from working in Baltimore preparing for our General Assembly, to the pandemic happening and me going home to Augusta to be with my parents for a year. Figuring out what would come next and being in that shift of feeling lonely and unsure about what to come, to now arriving and being in Asheville for the last 2 months and working with Asheville Poverty Initiative, and now being here with GCPC and working with Amy Kim and the youth and meeting everyone in the congregation.
The pandemic is the impetus of why I'm here and why I began working with GCPC. And the ever-changing nature of it are why I continue.
Well, GCPC gave me an opportunity for purposeful work by using my audio-video skills in a congregation and a ministry that I believe is going great places. And having purposeful work allows me to have passion every day when I come into work, and knowing that what we're doing has a meaning.
Fortunately, we had shifted over to Realm at the beginning of 2020 before all this happened, which enabled us to do online pledging, all the e-giving, all of that was all included in one place, and also where I run all the financials.
The generosity of this congregation has supported this staff and our ability to adapt and shift. Grace Covenant has done right by this staff, not only by following our lead, but by honoring your financial commitments to the church so that the staff could all continue to adapt and take care of our families and have the energy to do the creative work that we've been called to do here. And the Spirit just keeps bringing new healing opportunities, new members, new growth, new holy shifts. Unlike some other nonprofit organizations where staff salaries are seen as separate from serving the mission of the organization, at Grace Covenant, the resources that go to paying for this remarkable staff are resources that directly fund ministry. Everything this staff does is ministry. Every shift we've been called to make as a staff is ministry for and with this community. So every penny that this generous congregation puts toward building this staff's capacity directly empowers real-time, on-the-ground, transformational ministry.
My name is Jessica Graham, and I serve on session and am the chair of the Personnel Council. In a world that is constantly shifting, it is a blessing to be a part of a community who recognizes God's hand in it all. Stewardship is an opportunity for us to infuse all of the ministries of GCPC with the capacity to continue to adapt and to thrive. This year, Grace Covenant needs you to renew your pledge at the same level you pledged last year. If you've never pledged before, I hope this is the year that you shift and make that commitment. Every penny of your gift goes directly to ministry, and pledging is easy on Realm. Any questions, please contact Natalie Weaver in the church office.